We did add more additional seats. You're welcome to walk up others to your table. We're very excited for today's program, so if you can give us 3 more minutes, we'll go ahead and start. And I hope you enjoyed today's gorditas. Thank you, Gordita. Today she deserves a great round of applause. You're missing out. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It's such a blessed day in your beautiful city of Bronzeville. We'll start in a couple of minutes. So, give us 3 minutes and we'll be going live. Thank you.
Good morning.
Test. Oh, great. Are we testing? We? Are we good? Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Good morning, everyone. Bienvenidos. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's such a beautiful day in the great city of Roswell, Texas, and we're excited to host this outstanding event, which we put a lot of hard work and dedication to make it a good outcome. Most importantly, a great outcome for you, our business community, and our constituents. My name is Erasmo. I am the very proud president and CEO for your local chamber, the Roswell Chamber of Commerce. Bienvenidos a todos. Mi nombre es Esmeralda Villarreal, presidenta de la Cámara de Comercio de Bronzeville, Texas. Today we have the great pleasure of welcoming many familiar faces, friends of our chamber, and also many that partake in our community and are important. Your voice is important. As an organization that advocates for our business community, our purpose today is to bring and create an informational forum. Today, not an actual debate. I want to make sure that we understand this morning. Educational and informational forums to educate our voters, to educate our business community of what is happening of importance in our city and what's the future of this great city. It is no secret that Bronzeville, Texas is growing fast. It is no secret we're one of the most fastest cities, that are growing in the Rio Grande Valley. We need a great leader. We need a great person with a vision that's going to carry our businesses to the next level. So on behalf of the board of directors for the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, our great membership, which we're very proud to represent more than 500 businesses, welcome. Welcome to today's event, Despierta Bronzeville, Mayoral Candidates Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin our program. And that deserves a round of applause. Your Roswell Chamber of Commerce is solely a business organization who is subsidized by your investment, our business community. We take pride in saying we're a nonprofit organization, 501c6, that solely depends on businesses that open and stand and grow in our community. With that said, our obligation is to create these platforms, bring together our community, and of course, all those that have taken, the bravery to stand up for what they believe and what they feel is the right thing for our city as we continue to grow. We cannot do what we do without the great support of our membership and, of course, our board of directors. Today, we have the great honor of having our sponsor, which is a contributing partner, Raise Your Hand Texas. Giovanni Escobedo, please stand to be acknowledged for your support today. Thank you very much. And I'm also very proud to say that I go and support all businesses, all sizes, because I also love to eat the donuts. So, with that said, one of my favorite places that I go to often, and not just because they're members, but because it feels right at home when we walk in. I am very grateful that Bobita Chase, owner of Bronzeville Coffee Shop, is sponsoring today's breakfast. Thank you, Lindsay, for running over. If you haven't had their gorditas, their carne guisada, gorditas, you are missing out. Their pozole, their lunch special, but I'm not being paid for doing this, but I love it. I love it, and I love that we have the fast food. That when people come and visit Bronzeville, that's what they take. They take who we are as a community, our food, our culture, and how friendly we are. So we are who we are because of those that are here today and are watching this also through the broadcasting that we're going to have at a later time. We're also very proud today that we have the great support of the media who's all here present. So I do want to take the time to acknowledge the hardworking people that represent all media sources because they take time to be present. They take time to be away from their families when they have great news and there's anything happening within the city. So let's give our media, of course, friends, a round of applause. We have many today. Thank you for special and very supportive partner, our broadcast partner, which we're proud to collaborate They're actually very supportive. They're part of our community, and they've said yes to being here, supporting us, and supporting the future of Bronzeville. Ladies and gentlemen, I do ask that you help me with a great round of applause for broadcast partner, CBS 4 and NBC 23. Also, I do want to take the time of those existing elected officials that are present, not just as part of the panel, but also some that are here today listening and, of course, supporting the future of Bronzeville. With us, we have Commissioner John Cohen, at-large A Commissioner for the great city of Bronzeville, Commissioner Jessica Tetru, District 2, and Commissioner Pedro Cardenas, District 4. Thank you for your support. It is also a pleasure of mine in every single event that we have the honor to speak about our great leadership. The Bronzeville Chamber of Commerce has a governing board that has 20 individuals that represent the business community. They all represent a small, medium, large corporation, and they're all here for the same purpose, to support the mission of this organization, to continue to support our members, which we do 24/7 passionately every single day. And we do so by advocating, by creating platforms, by educating, by promoting. And we have the great pleasure today that we have some of the leadership present, and I would be remiss if I don't acknowledge them today. So please bear with me as we have multiple of them here. Today we have our chairman of the board, Abby Shorts. Chairman, thank you for being here, sir. We appreciate you. As well, we have our immediate past chairman of the board, Mr. Richard Alake. Richard, thank you. So I'll go ahead and set the dates, and of course we can all together give them a round of applause. So with us also we have Gisela Munoz, treasurer of the board, Maris Aguilar, board director, Giovanni Escobedo, board director, Mark Hudson, board director, Benjamin Peña, also known as Dan, our second vice chair, secretary of the board, Daniel Fuente, Maribel Vaca, and Tony Rodriguez. Ladies and gentlemen, help me give them a round of applause. We also, as we come back from the pandemic, the ongoing pandemic that is, the Bronzeville Chamber has a responsibility, as mentioned earlier, to creating these type of platforms. We're excited and thrilled to bring this back to our business community. We do take pride in being, of course, an organization that's proud for the betterment of our businesses. With that said, today we have the honor of having an MC moderating today's program. And I want to take a moment before I introduce him to the podium to speak about the importance of supporting your own local talent. Someone who was born and raised in Bronzeville, Texas, someone that is a great friend of the chamber, someone who has a passion to serve and can only see, this community flourish and is there present and goes and runs live to do reports everywhere he can. And I do have a lot of respect for not just a colleague, but also a great friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, with pleasure, I introduce Adam Cardona.
Thank you, Esme, and thank you everyone for having me this morning. This is truly an honor and a pleasure. I'm born and raised in Brownsville, living in Brownsville, so this is a great opportunity to be part of CBS 4 and NBC 23 as your moderator for this morning. Now, I do want to remind everyone, as Esme mentioned, this is an informational forum. This is not a debate, so I do ask for our candidates and our audience to be respectful of the questions being asked and about the time as well. Each candidate will get some time limited to answering some of these questions, so be mindful of the time. We will give you cues when to end. Okay, so we're going to get right to it. Y'all are ready, right?
Yes.
This is this. Yep, Brownsville, we await.
Yes.
All right. Cool. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, our candidates are in order now for the order here. We'll go in the same order to start with our questions. Now, we first want to give each candidate here an opportunity to introduce themselves. And we'll go ahead and start with Mr. Erasmo Castro. So go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what your vision is for Brownsville. I do ask you to remain seated because we might pull out that wire, but you will have 3 minutes. You can go ahead and start.
Thank you so much to the chamber, to everyone here present. My name is Erasmo, city of Brownsville. Born and raised in the city of Brownsville. I went through all my schooling here at BISD. And I graduated with a bachelor's in Christian Studies from Austin Graduate School of Theology. Lifelong member of Brownsville. What I mentioned before is, I scraped my knees, cut my elbows on the streets of Brownsville. have bled, have sweat, and have tears throughout the city of Brownsville. And one of the reasons that I mention this is, because we yearn for a better Brownsville. One of the things that I think that a lot of us grow up with is wanting to leave something better for our children. And a lot of us feel that the direction that our city has taken is not going to where it's serving the city of Brownsville as a whole. To permit the future generations that are coming here, to benefit from all the great stuff that is happening around us. And throughout this forum, I hope that we could talk about all the great stuff that is happening in Brownsville right now that should benefit Brownsville as a whole. One of the things that I am very famous for here in the city of Brownsville is I do frequent our local business regularly. I mentioned Brownsville Coffee Shop. I'm there every morning, except on Sunday mornings, because it is important. It is important that we lift up each other as a community and lift up our small business as well as the larger business that is coming to the city of Brownsville, so that everyone in the city of Brownsville can benefit from everything that is happening around us, and not just a selected few, not just a special little group. And unfortunately for us, we feel that the direction that a lot of these individuals have been taking the city of Brownsville has been to benefit only a few and not the whole. It is by benefiting the whole that we will prosper and stop remaining the stagnant community that we became for so many years. Very grateful that a lot of larger business, very grateful that SpaceX is here. If it wasn't for them, I dare to imagine where we would be as a community right now. So thank you all for being here, and thank you all for Chamber of Commerce for hosting this. We're hoping that before early election starts on April 24th, we have more and more opportunities to communicate with each other, what the direction of Brownsville should be, what the direction of Brownsville needs to be for us to continue on beyond.
All right, thank you, Mr. Castro. We move on now to Commissioner John Cowan. You can go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what your vision is for Brownsville School.
Sure, thank you, Adam, and thank you to the Chamber for having us today. It's a pleasure to see all of you. My name is John Cowan, and I am a resident of Brownsville. I was born and raised here. I come from a family that's been here over 7 generations. Very proud to be from Brownsville. I was able to go to school here and then eventually go to the University of Notre Dame, where I graduated with a degree in finance with honors. I ended up living in Chicago and New York City, and then decided to move back to Brownsville to work with my dad here in the logistics business. I'm a customs broker. We've been able to grow to a medium-sized business. We have about 150 employees from Laredo, McAllen, Brownsville, and Motorola. So I realize the importance we are as an international trade hub, and I've been able to advocate for us at the state level through being appointed to the Texas Business Leadership Council, and also to the Emerging Leaders Council of the Dallas Federal Reserve Bank. I believe all our issues that we have here are economic issues. We are consistently ranked one of the poorest communities in Brownsville. We have the lowest property values, which means we have the lowest budget to spend on infrastructure and quality of life. Our path forward is through economic development. It's through being a business-friendly city, being able to help small businesses and large businesses grow here. I've been preaching. We are about 98-99% leased in our industrial cities. So even if a company wants to relocate here, we don't have space for them. So what are we doing about that? So as chairman of GBID, I've been able to form a master plan on our 729-acre industrial park that will be the future of industrial growth in Brownsville. We need to be proactive. We need to help businesses relocate here, but also small businesses grow here. That's what makes Brownsville Brownsville, right? We have so much authenticity. People come here for the food, for the culture, for the people, and we should celebrate that. But that's who I am. I look forward to answering more questions here.
Commissioner Cowan, thank you. We'll move on now to candidate Jennifer Stanton. Go ahead and share your introduction and your vision.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Stanton. I was born in Corpus Christi. I moved to Lubbock, Texas when I was 2. Lived there 22 years and moved down here 16 years ago. I worked at Harley Davidson for 5 years, opened my first business in Brownsville, Texas in 2014. And then I have another business I recently opened in 2022 in Brownsville, Texas. I'm largely business-minded person, very creative person, and I see the direction Brownsville's been going. And I am not political, so this is kind of hard for me to do. My thing was I saw the corruption and all the people making bad decisions within the city of Brownsville. And I thought, somebody ethical needs to step up and be a part of the city. So I decided to step up and run. And that's my main focus, is to try to balance budget, trying to make everybody accountable for what they're doing in the city of Brownsville and hold each other accountable as business members. Work as a team and make things happen for Brownsville. Small business is 100% our growth, and I believe in it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stanton. Commissioner Jessica Tetreault, same question. Go ahead and introduce yourself and your region of Brownsville.
Okay, thank you so much, Adam, for having us here. This is wonderful, and thank you to the Chamber for all of the work that you put into it. This is a very vital forum, and I'm happy to be here, so thank you. My name is Jessica Tetreault, and I'm a current City Commissioner, and I'm running for Mayor of the City of Brownsville. I've served on the City Commission for the last 12 years. I represent District 2, which is a very small portion of town. It's out by the airport. And when I inherited that, not inherited, but when I was elected to that office, there were a lot of things. Our airport was in really bad condition. People were really looking for work. Our infrastructure was terrible. There was a lot of flooding. So immediately I got to work, finding millions and millions of dollars that were available through grants, federal funding, and through local sources to work on our infrastructure. I have started and completed the new terminal at our airport. I'm one of the very fortunate people that was here on day one when SpaceX arrived, and I believed in it very much because I saw the potential and the impact it would have in our community. And so over these last 12 years, I have learned every in and out of Brownsville, our faults, our flaws, our strengths, and what it needs, right? So this last time, I decided, you know what, it is time to run for mayor. And most importantly, for the people of Brownsville and what our city lacks, and when we travel to other cities and we see what they have and we're still lacking, right? It all starts with strong leadership and making sure that you have a mayor who is going to represent you and who is going to believe in you and who is going to advocate for Brownsville. And so I have 3 children and my husband, and we own several businesses here in Brownsville. And for me, it's very important that we fix our permitting process. Those of us who have small businesses know how unfriendly our city is and how many opportunities, and our tax base has been reduced because of everybody that leaves Brownsville. So I know we have a lot of work to do. I know a lot of great things have been done. But with the right people that believe and the right vision, I feel like Brownsville is in a position where we can become something incredible because of the work that myself and many others have put in. So I'm very grateful to be here, and I want everybody to know that my platform is building our businesses, building our tourism, building what we have to be the greatest in the entire valley. We have the potential, we have the people, and I'm ready to get to work.
Thank you, Commissioner Tetreault. All right, now that we've all formally met, and they've introduced themselves, let's give the candidates a round of applause. We also want to say hello to our friends that are watching on valleycentral.com, whether they're at home or at work. So hello. All right, we're going to move on now to our panel questions. Now there's a series of 4 questions. Each one of you will take 1 question. So we will start with that. We'll go ahead and start with Mr. Castro. The city of Brownsville will invest $85 million through the capital improvement plan through to 2025. Now, in addition to the capital improvement plan, the city of Brownsville was awarded over $60 million of direct aid through the American Rescue Plan. If elected as mayor, how will you provide transparency and follow through with the planned use of these funds?
Well, one of the key words that you just mentioned was transparency. And unfortunately for us, it is something that has been lacking for far too long. We haven't had transparency in regards to where the monies that are coming to the city of Brownsville are being distributed. Look, it is one thing to come out here and take credit for things that you had absolutely no power or control over for the past 12 years or the past 4 years. That's all fine and dandy. The truth of the matter is we're very, very fortunate that we have had SpaceX come in, and thanks to a lot of the individuals at the state level and at the county level who were influential in regards to bringing these down here for us. Unfortunately for us, a lot of the funds have been directed towards individuals and towards businesses that are not representative of the community as a whole. Look, one of the major things that now the city commission is speaking about is helping out our zoo, and I'll use that as an example. Now we're concerned about the zoo. Well, the zoo used to be one of the top 10 zoos in the country at a certain point. You remember, it was one of the top 10 zoos in the country, and we have let it go to decay to the point that we are in danger of it, not being accredited anymore as a zoo, and that's very unfortunate. And we start to look at the growth. Is that our city commission, our leadership has failed us. I mean, we had an opportunity to upkeep the zoo, and I'm using the zoo as an example of everything else that happens in Brownsville in regards to the funds that are supposed to come here in regards to the planning of where we're going to go in the next couple of years. Guys, we need to save our zoo. We need to help our airport. As much as individuals want to take credit for uplifting our airport was the #1 airport south of San Antonio at the time. We were called the crossroads to the hemisphere. Everything came through here. We had Lindbergh come here. We had individuals that flew into Brownsville. And again, because of the lack of vision, the lack of planning, everything went to disarray. We need to save that which makes Brownsville, Brownsville. We need to help out the zoo. We need to stop funneling money into certain individuals. We've got to stop this mini cultural district and of consuming the resources that should go to the zoo. And I love everything that happens on Linear Way and the Linear Park and everything. But think of it, all that property out there should have gone to the zoo, and we need to expand our zoo so we don't have to be in a position where it's been placed in danger. And it's been placed in danger by the individuals that have not served our community as a whole. They've been out there serving themselves for far too long. Again, small business, large business, we all need to grow together. And unfortunately for us, that is not happening. If a certain section, a certain part of Brownsville grows and prospers, and everything else falls into decay, we are going to remain stagnant. We're not going to have that growth. That is one of the reasons why a lot of the municipalities to the west of us, like McAllen, have had an opportunity to grow because they work together in collaboration.
Thank you, Mr. Castro. Commissioner Cowan, as you may be aware, many of us over here, small business drive the U.S. economy. Now, according to the U.S. Small Business Association, small businesses of 500 employees or fewer make up to 99.9% of all U.S. businesses and 99.7% of firms with paid employees. Now, in Brownsville, small businesses are the backbone of our community and employ our neighbors, friends, and family members, as well as make Brownsville a unique place to dine and shop. If elected as mayor, what efforts will be made to make the process of opening a business in Brownsville seamless and welcoming?
I think that's a great question. In the last 4 years, I think everyone realizes the permitting department was a problem here. And the two main things that we did as a commission was we completely rewrote our code, our development code, which was a painstaking process. It normally takes 2 years. We did it in about 15 months. And so it's a much more flexible code. It's easier to deal with. And the second thing we did was we digitized our permitting process. We've just gone through the implementation phase of a new software called Excella, which provides transparency to owners, developers, and contractors so that the permitting process is on your phone, on your computer. You can see where your permit is, what the issues are, how long it's taking, and more importantly, the city commission will have access to that data and basically see how long it's actually taking. Because we hear all sorts of things, I get all sorts of complaints of what the issues are, but we're actually going to have the data and be able to identify what exactly is the problem, whether it's staffing. We're currently hiring another commercial planning inspector, whether it's education with the developer community, because sometimes that's an issue, but we need to work together to solve these issues.
Thank you, Mr. Cowan. Ms. Stanton, over the last year, the city of Brownsville has seen an increase in new business from national restaurant chains, large corporate businesses, and well-loved franchises. Now, if elected as mayor, what efforts will be made to make the process of opening a business in Brownsville? Pardon me. Over the last year, we've seen the increase in businesses. Now, if elected as mayor, what process will you enact to ensure these type of businesses are happy with their investment and attract others to our city?
Like was said before about the permits, the planning department, that just needs to be, the game needs to be up on that for sure. I would like to welcome with open arms everybody, small and big businesses. I know we like small businesses better, but chains, I mean, who doesn't go to McDonald's? You don't. I used to work there and I didn't go there for several years, but I do now. But I mean, I do like big chains, you know, certain ones. It gives you a different perspective on different foods from different places. Small businesses are definitely backbone, and we need to continue to help them as well, and not just look at the big business, because that is not going to help our small businesses thrive. You know, we do need to focus on our small businesses and help our people here that are small businesses first, and then focus on the bigger business.
Ms. Hampton, thank you. Commissioner Tetreault, if elected as mayor, what measures will be put in place to ensure water security in Brownsville and increase the desalination capacity through the Brownsville Public Utilities Board's drought contingency plan?
That's a good question. Thank you, Adam. I think it's very important that the city commission as a whole has more, I want to say control, but better purview of our PUB board and the actions that they're taking. Currently, the city commission has very little influence in the PUB board and what happens there. So I think it's very important as mayor and as the new city commission comes in, that they are very diligent with the PUB process and more involved. We need to make sure that we have enough water. We're seeing the droughts that are happening all throughout the nation. And it's very important that that the city commission works with the PUB board to ensure that.
Thank you, Ms. Tetreault. At this time, that wraps it up for our panel question and answer portion, but we do want to open it up to the audience for any questions that you may have for any of the candidates. I do ask for you to stand and take the mic, introduce yourself with your name, the name of the organization you represent, and direct the questions particularly to the candidate that you would like to ask that. Anybody here have a question, please raise your hand and we'll head over to you with the microphone.
Hi, my name is Ezequiel Silva. This question is directed to Jessica Tetreault Khalifa. My question to you is, you keep stating that after 12 years in the city commission, that you've done a whole bunch of things that have improved our economy, but yet Tenasca started as soon as you got elected, and many times this increases kept coming to the board. And I get to hear you say that you did anything in your power to rectify the charges and just keep voting and abstaining from voting or being absent. So what difference would it be as you, mayor, not making sure that the taxpayers' rates are mismanaged under your control? For the last 12 years, you weren't able to stop it.
So that's a good question. I think it's very important that the public understands it was not one person in particular that was the catalyst for the Tenasca project. That was from our PUB board. It was eventually brought to the commission to see if it was a viable thing. The commission gave a certain time window. That was a deal that was made with the PUB board, but the commission was left in the dark in, as we found on our audit results. And you should know that I have been the only commissioner that has ever been vocal against it. I have been the only commissioner that has, one of the very few that has voted against it. And I was one of the commissioners that voted to remove their tax incentives when they were not producing. So I do feel very strongly that I had a very large part in holding them accountable. Most importantly, I was one of the catalysts that fought for the audit to eventually come to life. We had a lot of people that didn't want it to be made public, And for me, I am still one of the very few people that fights for the public to make sure that all of our money is returned in full. There's a lot of money sitting there that's not accruing any interest, and the commission has appointed several commissioners to work with PUB to get those refunds distributed, and they have not been. So until my last breath, I will be fighting for the public to make sure that that money is returned to the public in whole.
Thank you, Commissioner Tetro. Anyone else in the audience have a question? Please raise your hand. We'll head to you with the microphone. All right, at this point, we'll go ahead and move on to some questions that were submitted online. We'll go ahead and start with Sergio Zarate, co-founder of Down by the Border. Now, he says, each of you has been supportive of our special needs population in your own right as elected officials. Now, if elected, what do you propose as part of your platform to change, modify, or establish support for the special needs community in Brownsville? Mr. Castro will start with you.
Well, there is nothing more dear to my heart than our special needs student. I count one of my very, very close friends, who I call a brother, very close to us, and we grew up together, special needs. And I had the pleasure of working with Mr. Zarate down by the border. And I think that we need to start, focusing a lot of our infrastructure to be more supportive of our special needs students. I know that the county has started many initiatives out there to help ease the process for our parks to be more accessible. We need every aspect of the city of Brownsville to be more in tune with the constant growing needs of our special needs students. I'm very, very proud that the city of Brownsville, has a task force out there that is working diligently with the current leadership and the city manager, to bring these to life. But we need to do a little bit more. One of the things that I've always stated is, we need to protect and to help the weakest amongst us. And a lot of the times we find out that the weakest amongst us together make up that which really makes us strong. So it is my hope that we can continue the partnerships that we have with not only Down by the Border, but Big Heroes and other groups out there to uplift everyone together in the city of Brownsville. Again, it's one of the things that I made mention. I fear that for far too long, the direction of Brownsville has been pinpointed to serve a selected few. We need to all work together to uplift our community as a whole.
Thank you, Mr. Castro. If any of you do come up with a question during this portion of the program, go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll take the microphone to you. We're going to move on to our next online question. Now, this is from Sherry Wooding, the owner of Weekend Vet here in Brownsville. The community of Brownsville has some serious health challenges that start in childhood and extend into the productive years and beyond. More than half of the children in Brownsville are obese or overweight, and which contributes to high rates of type 2 diabetes in our area. Now, these are best treated or prevented with lifestyle changes. How do you propose to address these issues, which affect not only the well-being of our citizens? Mr. Cowell, that question's for you.
Sure, I think that's a very unfortunate situation that we have in our community. I know a couple weeks ago, we were once again ranked the least healthy city in the United States. And it comes down, in my opinion, to accessibility for good health care, for trails and parks, for encouraging the growth of affordable eating options for our community, right? But I think at the heart of this, it is an economic issue. We have a lot of families that both the mother and father have to work. Their kids don't have a lot of, probably care at home. Fast food's probably the easiest option for them. It's a high calorie, low quality option, right? And so we need to make sure we raise our income levels here so that people can afford to shop in a much more healthy way and provide more opportunities for them to go out and enjoy the parks and our trails, which we have a mobility plan that's going to hopefully improve our accessibility to all our parks and trail systems. We've done a lot of work, obviously, with the West Trail opening in the last year or so. That was a huge benefit to our community. There's more that can be done, but it all comes down to resources. And like I said, a rising tide that floats all boats. the more money we are able to bring into the city, the more benefits we can provide to the community, which will impact health and wellness.
Thank you, Commissioner Cowan. The next question is from a community member submitted online. It says, Brownsville is widely known for being reactive and not proactive. My question would be, aside from draining the resacas, how will you be proactive and get us well prepared for hurricane season throughout your tenure? Now, in addition, is there a way to help business owners improve parking lots during flooding? Ms. Stanton, that question is for you.
Oh, I'm not sure about parking lots during flooding, but we can be proactive by educating people on, procedures to evacuate the place. A lot of people don't want to go anywhere during natural disasters, but I think it's imperative that during certain ones that everybody's educated and well stocked up if they have to stay for some reason. Our hospitals have generators, stuff like that we can have, and also places that people can go that they know they can go during a disaster. The parking lots, I'm not sure. I mean, I'd have to research that. That's something new I haven't even thought of.
Understood.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ms.
Thank
Stanton.
you.
All right, we do have a question in our audience.
Okay. I'm going to just stay sitting. My name is Ashley Alshire. I'm a small business owner here in the community. We have several businesses, my husband and I'm here to ask a question to Erasmo. I'd like to know, as mayor, how can you help the community, especially with getting more roads permitted annually? I think this last year, for next year, the budget includes for 8 roads. I think that as a low income community, we should also think about the impact of how poor infrastructure impacts the weakest in our community. Poor roads create more damage to our vehicles. How, as mayor, would you push for the commission to not only approve for more infrastructure and roads, but also and bus stops, but also make sure we're getting the best quotes and offers through the city manager's office? I think that one thing that we saw with the PUB fiasco is that commissioners and mayors and board members aren't asking the tough questions. They're not pushing back. They're not saying this doesn't look right when they aren't sure of something. How can you assure that this is going to be different?
Thank you for that question. Let me say, one of the things that I think that a lot of individuals who are running for mayor right now, they're at a disadvantage, is their voting record. And the facts of the matter are totally different a lot of times from what we hear. Because during the political season, politicians, they tell us what we want to hear, but not necessarily the way or what we are actually experiencing or living here in the city of Brownsville. Individuals that may be seeking office may say that they've been working on our infrastructure, that they've been vocal in regards to the resources that this city has that have been squandered and pissed away by individuals that have been out there to consume the resources to give to a selected few. Look, everyone that drives around in the city of Brownsville knows for a fact that our roads are crap. Our roads are messed up. They have not been improved. There's been damage to vehicles everywhere we go. It's just a fact. I mean, going to SpaceX, and I went there because I had a wedding setting ceremony over there. It's just horrible, It's just driving out there, even on Boca Chica. It's a constant. And yes, they are state-owned roads and everything, but we need to really dig into the facts of the matter. The facts of the matter is that our city commission has failed us, the mayor has failed us, in that they have used the resources of this city to put into the pockets of themselves and a selected few individuals. And we mentioned Tenasca, and everybody wants to take credit for Tenasca and for the audit coming out. It's just not true. The fact of the matter is that the community has been pissed for far too long, that our rates were going up extraordinarily, farther greater than anywhere else, and then we come to learn that they pocketed the resources of the citizens of Brownsville. Because they pocketed the resources of the citizens of Brownsville, we don't have resources for the police officer retirements and benefits, and to fix our roads. Out of that Tenasca project, that one, They took $179 million. The commission has been silent about it. That is just one project, folks. $179 million out of one project. How many other projects have they taken money from us that should have gone to infrastructure, that should have gone to the zoo, that should have gone to uphold and to lift up our small business here in the city of Brownsville? Every time they speak, every time they talk, it is political talk. The facts of the matter are totally different. It is affecting the pockets of those individuals that are going into your businesses right now. We need to put the money back into the people of Brownsville, fix our infrastructure, uplift our zoo, fix our airport, fix the real problems that keep Brownsville stagnant.
Mr. Gusto, thank you. We're going to move on to the next community online submitted question. What reasons do companies cite when they ultimately choose not to come to Brownsville? And how should the city address those concerns? Commissioner Petro?
Yes, thank you, Adam, for the question. The complaint that I hear the most from everybody is our permitting process. Nobody wants to deal with our inspectors or our permitting process. If I am elected mayor, day one, I will work on a 24-hour permitting process. People ask, how will you do that? To me, working with the commission through the budget to ensure that that office has enough staff and competent inspectors who want to help you open your business. Instead of ticketing you, coming back 2 weeks later, coming back 2 weeks after that, working on your schedule, I'll see you in a month. People are paying rent. People are paying property taxes. People are paying bank notes trying to open these businesses. The city needs to work to get businesses open immediately. It increases our tax base, it increases our sales tax, and it increases our employment opportunities. There is no reason that one department at the city is strangling the entire city from progressing forward. So as your mayor, that will be my day one priority to ensure that money starts flowing into our community and helping our families. Not only will that help our businesses, that will also help our developers, these people that want to come in and build quality, affordable homes that we find is very hard to find right now in the city of Brownsville. So for me, that is our major problem, and that will be fixed under my watch as the mayor.
Commissioner Tetro, thank you. We have another online submission, or we're going to take an audience question actually.
That's fine.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much for this forum. I think it's very important to us. I'm Leader Ruth Randall. I'm a retired educator from the BISD for 31 years, and at this point I'm doing educational consulting for Region 2 in Corpus Christi. My question is going to shift gears just a little bit. Having been an educator and knowing what challenges the pandemic has brought to us, all of us have heard about the brain drain that has happened over the last few years. We've all heard, and I hear from the teachers, the nightmares about trying to get online with children, to get them to learn, trying to get them to attend. We know all of those nightmares. Here's the thing. We've got children, young people, who are graduating from high school and going on to college and being very successful. We have a segment of young people who are graduating from high school and have nothing to go to. Now, TEA is pushing for post-high school training of some kind, either certification or degrees, whatever training is available. And so the school district here is working hard toward that. What can, as mayor, John Cowan, what can you do to promote a partnership between the businesses that are here and the young people that are graduating with no hope of a college degree, no view of what they can do skill-wise? How can the city and the district partner up? Because this is the future of Brownsville. And we fail to realize that there's a segment of young people with skills, with talent, with hardships, with deficits that need the support. What would you do?
I think that's a great question. Obviously, everyone talks about the skills gap that we have in our community. College isn't, the right path for everyone. There is a lot of value to be had in the skilled trade industry. I know BIC is a very strong CTE program. As chair of GBIC, we've been working with them on helping our industry partners to leverage state funding to bring to our community for upskilling, right? We brought in $1.7 million in the last year to help companies like SpaceX and Steelforce provide training and additional certifications so that they expand their earning potential, right? But it's imperative that we work together with our ISDs. Our young people are the future. We want the jobs that are coming here to be filled by local people. We don't want to bring in outside talent if we don't have to. We have an amazing community, 40-something thousand kids in BISD that should have a future here, right? And I think it's important that we realize we are on the map right now for some amazing things. SpaceX is going to launch next week. It's going to be a global event. These LNGs that are about to announce is going to be a major event. Probably the biggest investment in the state of Texas coming, right? It's an amazing time to be in Brownsville, right? And we all need to be on board. We all need to work together because we're definitely stronger together. And we've had a history of working in our own silos and not talking to each other. But I think we need to strengthen our relationships and make sure that we're doing the right thing for our kids.
Could I do just a quick follow-up? Just a very quick follow-up? I probably don't need a microphone. Oh, okay. Okay, we agree. We agree that there needs to be something. We agree that we support that. My question is more nuts and bolts. How do you open those doors to that segment of student?
Well, I think, we need to bridge that gap between industry and education, right? Industry should be driving what they need, and BISD needs to say, well, how can we fill that? How can we provide the skills for that, to match that labor, right? There needs to be a much greater communication between industry and our ISDs, but the city plays that pivotal connector, right? And how we can facilitate, how can we bring in funding, and just be creative and collaborative.
Thank you, Commissioner Cowan. We do have one more audience question.
Good morning, everyone. We are local owners, my husband and myself, of the restaurant, Cinco de Mayo. First of all, welcome everyone. Good luck to everyone. This question is not for someone in particular, more like everyone. How would you describe yourself if you were to be elected mayor? How do you think you will be remembered? One word.
One word, she did say.
One word, that's one word.
Transparent. Commissioner Cowan?
Say high integrity.
Hyphenated, 2 words.
Personal integrity.
Ms. Stanton?
Humble.
Commissioner Tetro?
It's not one word, I'm gonna cheat, guys, but I will be remembered as the mayor that got things done. She got it done.
Thank you. Good night.
Any more audience questions before we move on to an online question?
Second question, totally different answer. I'm just different person. I'd like to ask Jessica, following off of the question that was asked to Mr. Cowan, what can the city do to supplement monies for kids post high school or in high school to learn curriculum that's not currently funded by state and federal monies? For instance, we own the only post-production 3D company in Brownsville. And my husband does education, very well known, famous in the internet. But he can't teach any classes here because BISD and other places that give education and certificates They don't have actual technology-based funding that will give education that will actually get them hired at SpaceX or any other technology company. What can the city do that's not reliant on state and federal monies?
I'm really glad you asked. These two questions have raised a very important question and have shown the cracks in our system. Our 4A, which is our economic development, and our 4B, which is our quality of life, are not doing enough. Through job creation, we need to really start looking at home. We do not want our next generation leaving the city of Brownsville. And so through those funds that are funded millions of dollars every year, we need to start building our city for the future. And that includes funneling money through our 4A and 4B, rather than to the same individuals over and over, into the next generations that live here. And that includes creating opportunities for our career training high schools. I don't know if people know, but BISD has one of the best programs in the state that creates children that go into the medical, space, science, STEM, all kinds of careers. And so through using the assets that we have, but applying them to our children and the workforce and education that they're going to go into, that they bring back into our city and build us up to be a better Brownsville, a better place. So as your mayor, I will advocate and make sure, I will not sit on these boards, but I will personally advocate that we start working together with BISD, TSC, UTRGV, to make sure that we are applying funds to our own future, and that is to our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Tetchell. One last question submitted online. How does your education and work background help in fulfilling the elected role you are seeking, Ms. Stanton?
I think it would help a lot because apparently the city doesn't know how to balance a budget. I mean, that's simple for me. That's business. That needs to be done. That's first and foremost. That needs to be done in order for our city to get better, and we need to get back to basics and make our city a better place.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Stanton. That wraps it up for our online question submissions and our audience questions for now. I'll go ahead and ask Ms. Esme Vega to come right back to the podium.
Continue to see this one. Go. Okay. So, most importantly, I feel that today we've accomplished what we're here to do. One, that is to educate you, the voter, our business community, and I forgot the mic. We do a great job putting great events of this capacity. But ideally, our goal is to accomplish one thing, and that is to educate you, to bring to you what you need to know about, what you need to be informed about. And we do take pride in every single thing that we do. So I want to make sure that we also applaud these brave men and women that have taken the time to be here as they represent, potentially, as a mayor, the future of our business community. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give them all a great round of applause. And that's how all of us who are born and raised in this beautiful city have experienced, and that's how you all, as leaders, inspire the next generations of leaders. And today we have a great leader of our own from Brownsville, Texas, great MC moderator doing an outstanding job for our, of course, community. Help me thank once again Adam Fezon. We're currently about to celebrate our 86th anniversary, a standalone 501c6 that depends only and solely on your investment as a business. So we're here to represent you, to be loud and clear about what your need is. I open an invitation and express to you that I do have an open door policy. Come and talk to us. Come and get to meet about your chamber, know about your chamber. Our goal is to respectfully bring candidates like yourselves to address, the needs of our business community, but we stand for you and next to you. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank our team who is present, who has been working very hard for this event, our Director of Marketing and Programs, Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel, thank you. Our special events coordinator, our fierce, unstoppable, Hania Rovello. Thank you, Hania. To work alongside, unstoppable men and women. They have a vision for our Brownsville Chamber of Commerce, to our board directors, past and present, and the future. We thank you for all your hard work. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Before we adjourn, I also want to take the time to thank all media who is present. You guys do a marvelous job running, right, and bringing the truth to our people and those that see you every single day, day and night. I also want to take the time to thank our sponsors, Jovita Chase. We appreciate you. We love you. I personally do. My chicks do. That very much. Thank you for the great breakfast, the great way to welcoming everyone and make everyone feel at home, because that's what we stand for. Brownsville, Texas is a community-driven area. Everyone that comes, they go back and they take Brownsville. They don't just take one elected official, one business. They take Brownsville, Texas. So you are Brownsville. Thank you for sponsoring our event today. Lastly but not least, to our sponsor for today's event, Giovanni Escobedo, representing Raise Your Hand Texas. Raise Your Hand Texas, thank you very much. Again, my name is Esme, and I'm here to serve you humbly. We appreciate you being here today. We appreciate your investment. It is because of you that we survived the pandemic, and we're now top 3% in the nation. Your chamber is an accredited chamber, a 4-star chamber. Thank you very much. We appreciate your business. Do not forget to vote. Early voting matters. Just in case, unless you want to be in the line, right? But ladies and gentlemen, this adjourns our program. Thank you for being here with us. God bless you. Have a great